It's another must-win race for Lewis Hamilton today, but we're going to a circuit where he got our first victory of the series in Season 1. Hello folks, my name's Aaron, I'm managing Mercedes here on F1 Manager, and coming up for you today is the Mexico City Grand Prix. As I said, another must-win race for Lewis Hamilton. The drivers' standings as we head into the final 3 rounds of the season look like this. An 8-point lead for Max Verstappen in the Red Bull. He did pinch 2 points on George Russell in the last race in Texas, which was won by Lewis Hamilton, his 5th win of the season. We have now got 11 victories in Grand Prix in Season 2, which is 3 more than Red Bull have, but they've won 3 sprints, all of the sprints so far this season. We've got one coming up in the next episode in Las Vegas, of course. Constructors' Championship, we are pulling away. I think that's 24 points. 34 points. We are leading Red Bull by in the Constructors. We do have a little bit of a worry about cost cap. Only $4 million remaining, well, almost 5. So basically, we can't afford for a crash that necessitates new power unit components because we can't afford it. We've spent a bit too much on developing the car and sandwiches, potentially. But yeah, we're all set for Mexico. Car is ready to go. I think we're going to be very much in the mix. Although I must admit, I found this really strange thing with Red Bull, although that's changed since I last looked at it. Yeah, I think Red Bull are just moving bits and pieces around. Because at one point Verstappen was like the 6th fastest car. Weird. Anyway, we should be in the hunt with Red Bull for the victory. Our car should work well around the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez in Mexico. So I'm going to jump into practice. I'll see you in qualifying. Right, we have made it through to Q3. Lewis Hamilton's a little bit on the back foot though going into Q3 because in Q1 he had a load of traffic on his double push lap and he ended up slowest of anybody. So he had to use a second set of tyres to get through Q1, and then he's had to use another new set to make sure he's got through Q2 because we used the used set from Q1, the second set, in the first run in Q2, and he ended up 13th. So George Russell's in a good position. He's got the pace to get through with just one run so far, but we are a couple of tenths shy of Verstappen's Red Bull, and indeed Carlos Sainz's newly power united Ferrari. So we're going to head straight into Q3. Lewis has got 2 new sets of softs available, but we're going to use that used set from before. So we can try and keep a fresh set of softs for the race, and hopefully we can just redress the balance. But George is going to get 2 runs on fresh tyres here, so let's see how the first runs go. Okay, across the line for the first laps, George Russell leading Lewis Hamilton. Lance Stroll also getting a slipstream from us. Hamilton, though, faster by a tenth in the first sector. Middle sector coming up now. Russell does go faster. Hamilton actually pulling it out of the bag here. I think he's going to go ahead of his teammate on those used tyres. That is an impressive lap from Lewis Hamilton into the 14s. And Stroll is 6/10 slower despite having a double slipstream. Lewis Hamilton just, wow, that was something else for Lewis Hamilton. 14.9, but I don't think it'll be quick enough to stay top of the times. What are the other sectors saying? Sainz goes second. Perez not fastest of anybody yet. In fact, he is fastest in the final sector. Hamilton stays P1 though. Verstappen is he on an out lap? He is. Right, we are gearing up for our final flying laps. Leclerc and Verstappen have both gone quicker than Hamilton. We're following George Russell at the moment. In fact, Hamilton is the lead car, so let's follow him. We are tracking Carlos Sainz. That's Leclerc, who's just behind George Russell. First sector then coming to an end. DRS open. It's a personal best and it's fastest momentarily for George Russell. Leclerc, obviously with the slipstream, faster than us. 27.4. Hamilton actually 0.2 slower than Russell. Hamilton not improving middle sector. Russell is. Leclerc is absolutely flying. Sainz goes third. Hamilton stays fourth. Russell jumps up to second as Leclerc goes purple everywhere. Verstappen, I don't know if he's got an answer to this. Hamilton, though, will start fifth. Verstappen snatches a front row slot away from George Russell. But we're in the game here, and yeah, I mean, P5 for Lewis isn't ideal, but we did win the race from 6th on the grid last year. Well, 5th after Perez had taken a penalty. But Leclerc on pole, all set for race day then. We are splitting our strategies again with the two cars. George Russell's going to start on the mediums and then go to 2 sets of softs to finish the race. Lewis is going to start on a set of softs, switch to mediums, finish on softs. This strategy, it says, is quicker by 18 seconds than a one stop. So that's positive, but obviously we do have to make 2 pit stops, which cost, I think, 23 seconds. There is the possibility of safety cars and also red flags in Mexico, as we saw to our benefit last season. And maybe with Leclerc and Verstappen fighting at the front, we can stick with them. We've underfueled as normal. That's been helping us in recent races. So I think we're ready to do a motor race. Alright, here we go then. 3 races left in Season 2. 5 red lights, the lights are out, the race is on. They were not held for very long at all. That's a set of mediums on the Ferrari and a set of mediums on a Red Bull. Can we find a way through into turn 1? Let's jump on board with Lewis Hamilton. I think he's going to go down the inside of his teammate. Don't collide, please, boys. We don't want any collisions here at Mercedes. And Hamilton does get through for 3rd place. So I'm going to, just for now, ask George not to fight his teammate, although he's actually going through. As we ask him to do that, he will soon back off. Perez is in 5th. Sainz started right at back. So he's got some work to do. Right, let's get Hamilton moving. Alright, DRS has been enabled. George Russell has fallen out of DRS range on Lewis Hamilton, which isn't ideal, but Lewis is going to get some DRS from the 2 drivers in the lead, which are Leclerc and Verstappen. And Leclerc moving to defend, but Hamilton is just going to drive down the outside of the pair of them here. They're almost 3 abreast into turn 1. And can we find a way past the Red Bull? We might just be moving into 2nd position here. Looks like we are. And can we make it stick? Inside line for F1 manager Verstappen, I think, will just about hang on to it.
Such an awesome job, mate.
And the celebrations were premature there for Bono and Lewis. And they're 3 abreast again into turn 1. Hamilton, can he get the job done? This time, quick deploy. And we're through for 2nd position. And now Verstappen. Hamilton's immediately going for the lead. He's just made 2 positions. He takes the lead of the race. Excellent work from Lewis Hamilton. We'll watch the one on Verstappen. Beautiful stuff. This just came out of nowhere. The overspeed he had with the DRS. Verstappen covered the inside and completely forgot about the magic inside line of F1 manager. Lewis said, thanks very much. I'll have the lead of this race. Alright, Verstappen has taken the lead and Lewis has dropped out of DRS range here. So they need to go aggressive on the tyres to try and get back up to speed with the Red Bull. I'm going to ask Lewis to really defend because our pace is pretty dismal right now. He's just lost 1.2 seconds to the Red Bull. We'll let Leclerc go through. I mean, really, we should just let him go. He's going to go around the outside. There we go. So now, hopefully, the Ferrari's pace can bring us along. The tyres, I think we used too much of them too early. Alright, George Russell has just passed Lewis Hamilton. Now we will get Lewis to start defending because we don't really want Perez coming through. Hopefully Russell can close the gap to the pair ahead. We'll go aggressive and we'll also deploy. We'll turn on the Ear Ice Battle Assist because it does help regenerate a lot more energy. I think we've got DRS for both cars here. Russell 6/10 off the back of Leclerc, who's just about getting DRS. Lewis does get DRS himself, moves to block Perez, but in doing so will fall 1 second behind. He's not far from his pit stop lap, so I'm going to ask him to push, and then he'll get an undercut on this lot. Pit stop for Hamilton then. He's the first of the lead drivers in 2.6 seconds. Slick job from the boys in the pit crew and girls possibly. Hamilton comes out behind Bottas, which is okay. We can just get some DRS and then we can also deploy on this lap to really put on a burst of speed. George, we need you to also deploy because you've got a Sergio Perez on your gearbox, roared on by the home fans. You're also out DRS range. So we could be dropping to P4 here. 2 in the lead, but just 3/10 quicker that time around. Okay, the two leaders have really set off at a pace here. We've fallen behind with Russell by 2 seconds, although Verstappen was doing a 20.9 last time around. So Leclerc has really put the hammer down to put some pressure on the Red Bull. We have turned the fuel mixture up for George to give him a little bit of extra pace, and the same for Lewis Hamilton, who's just getting those mediums up to temperature. In fact, Red Bull have called both their drivers in and Leclerc is in too. It's another set of mediums for the Red Bulls. Leclerc goes to a set of softs. What about Perez? That looks like a set of softs to me. That is. Okay, so Russell is going to have younger tyres, so we might as well attack now, really start pushing, but then they're going to be fast on new tyres. It's going to be about trying to catch them later on. Hamilton comes out just behind Perez, so that's worked out nicely for him. He's very much in with the lead group here, although they've spread out a little bit. That's a Verstappen facing the wrong way. I don't believe it. The championship leader was in the lead and he's done this. Unbelievable. Yeah, you lost the rear and several positions. Right. A gift from Verstappen, and we need to take full advantage. George Russell into the pit lane for used soft tyres. I decided to put him on an older set, and I think he's going to come out just in front of Verstappen. Is he? Just. And Verstappen is wheel to wheel with Norris. Hamilton actually gets the jump on his teammate, but he's fighting his way past Ocon, and Verstappen is now wheel to wheel with Russell. But that's to be expected. Verstappen's on hot tyres. Russell is just out the pit lane. Hamilton taking the position from Ocon and immediately losing it thanks to DRS. Hopefully we get some DRS for the pit straight. We didn't, so we're probably about to lose 2 or 3 positions here. Here comes Verstappen. He's going to go down the inside of all of them. Everything you love to see. Okay, well, now he can tow us along. That's fine. I've just told Lewis not to defend, well, only to defend the racing line. So Russell can find a way through, which I'm sure he will now. There you go. Maybe George takes Lewis towards the lead 5. Verstappen has just been rapid. Obviously driving with pure fury after his spin. So now, Lewis, don't fight your teammate, just go with him, because we need to close this 3-second gap to what is now Sergio Perez. Russell's done a fantastic job. He has almost caught right up to the back of Sergio Perez. I don't know if we're going to get DRS here. We do. So now we are on the back of the second Red Bull with George Russell. We're going to be able to go for it into the second braking zone. Let's see. We've got the DRS open. Perez closes the door but opens the inside line, and I think we'll be able to just about hold us off for now. But George Russell, I think, will find his way into third position here. Yes, he does. We also need to get Lewis going through as well. Verstappen now takes the lead at the front of the race from Leclerc. But Leclerc's on older softs. Verstappen on those mediums. Surely Verstappen will go to a set of softs to finish the race, just like Hamilton will be. Obviously Lewis will be pitting first around lap 50. So we've got a few laps to go yet until the second round of stops. Let's see if we can close this lead pair down. Leclerc now leads, but this is a true three-way scrap. Perez has been into the pit lane. He's gone to mediums. So just like in Texas, he's going to be a sitting duck if he's anywhere near the lead come the end of the race. George, I'm happy with him in third place at the moment. Lewis, though, I think this is the point where his championship challenge truly fades away. Russell's actually just going for second position now, and he's into it. And I think he might even be challenging for first place here as they charge down towards turn 1. And Verstappen's going to steal that inside line. And I think resume second place maybe. Looks like he will. Well, they're going to carry on being side by side. There we go. That position belongs to us. And in fact, George Russell is taking the lead. We do need to conserve some fuel to get to the end, otherwise we're going to be drastically short. But as long as we have DRS, I'm thinking we'll be okay. We're just going to drop back to third place now. Verstappen looks like he's putting his foot down to take some sort of lead into the pit lane. Russell takes second place. Verstappen stays out, so we're going to get an undercut on the Dutchman here. It's a decent stop, and we've stayed ahead of Leclerc. Hamilton didn't even lose. In fact, Hamilton's ahead of Leclerc because the Ferrari team have done Ferrari things in the pit lane. The left rear wouldn't come off. Oh, it's a terrible pit stop. Wow. That was a disaster for Charles Leclerc. Here's Russell. I think Verstappen will just be staying in the lead. He will. It's indeed a fresh set of tyres, so we need to press on. We're not that far behind, actually, all things considered. Russell going for it on Perez. Will he find the way past? He's got two Red Bulls in his way. But he's found a way past one of them, it looks like. And I think he might even be going for the lead. George Russell leads the Mexico City Grand Prix. Okay, now we just look after the tyres. We do need to desperately conserve some fuel. We're into the final 15 laps of this Mexico City Grand Prix. Perez has been dropped by 6.5 seconds. Hamilton's actually closing in on him. We're just sort of looking after everything with Hamilton. I think he will catch Perez by the end of the race. He's just matched him there. Russell is actually taking the lead, although he's probably just about to concede that advantage. Okay, let's go side by side through the S's, boys. Absolutely, totally realistic. If we get some DRS off the back of the Alfa Romeo there, that would be very useful indeed. There we go. We'll even just drop our aggression on the tyres. He's doing a great job, is Russell. A win would bring... Well, he would only gain 6 points on Verstappen as it stands because the Dutchman has the fastest lap. Okay, let's top up the battery. Make sure we're all good to go. We've got 8 grams of fuel to recover. Lewis taking the lead, taking the third place away from Perez, who remember is on mediums. Nice move there, Lewis. They're continuing to fight, Russell and Verstappen, as Perez takes third back from Lewis Hamilton. We've got two. Well, actually, we've got two separate battles of Red Bull versus Mercedes, but Charles Leclerc has come to join the fun for third place. We now need to position ourselves to make sure we have the opportunity in the last couple of laps to take the lead from Verstappen, although he is dropping back here. What's the tyre situation like? Still about even. Hamilton, we can up the fuel mix for you. Again, with Hamilton, it's going to be the same. Make sure we're not fifth. Make sure we're at worst fourth. And then we can take the position. He's actually been topping up, which hasn't been helping his pace. What I'm not fine with is a flying Charles Leclerc coming at us. And that could be a problem for Lewis, although having DRS for the main straight won't be. Talking of DRS for the main straight, Max Verstappen's got it. Now he has the lead. So now we position ourselves. Got a bit of excess fuel to use. We'll just deploy the battery to stay with the Red Bull. We'll actually go aggressive on the tyres. Verstappen's going to get DRS here from the traffic and is absolutely disappearing here. The McLaren is going to be very in the way. We do have DRS, so we can close the Red Bull down, who didn't get DRS in fact. So 3 laps to go. This result could alter the entire direction of the World Championship this season. Hamilton has dropped well back from Leclerc, who's absolutely flying. What was his lap time that time around? Just the 1.5 seconds quicker than Hamilton. So, yeah, Hamilton's title charge is done. Russell's charge for victory very much on. So we've got the penultimate lap now. We don't want to overtake on this lap. We want to do it on the next lap around, when we're just going to turn everything up to maximum. Just like we did last year with Lewis. We've got George on low overtake aggression, so I'm going to turn it up. Now, we'll put driving clean air on. Let's slow it down. In fact, Russell was going for it there. Around the outside, he's still going for it. I don't know who's going to get DRS. I hope it's us, because George Russell's taking the lead and does have DRS, which is crucial. We're going to take the lead on the last lap. We're deploying, we're DRSing, we're pushing, we're attacking. We're doing everything we can to deny Max Verstappen. We'll have DRS down the second straight. If we can get out of 1 second into the stadium, there we go. Verstappen hasn't been able to respond. It's a purple first sector. This is crucial as well. If we snatch this important single point, Verstappen has just disappeared. He's got no answer to this. I think we're going to set a fastest lap on the final lap. Middle sector is the fastest of anybody for George Russell. We can steal the fastest lap and reduce it to just a single point at the top of the championship. That would be huge. George Russell brilliantly wins the Mexico City Grand Prix. The championship is on. It is the fastest lap. It's 1 point at the top of the table. It's game on. And Max Verstappen's error today shows that he is feeling the pressure in that Red Bull. Leclerc comes home for third place. Hamilton's title dreams are done for this year. He'll be backing George Russell now. A well-earned victory indeed in Mexico for George Russell. They haven't got the podium in the correct position here, which is a shame. They can put that in next year's, that would be lovely. Celebrations once again for Mercedes. Our 12th win of the season, and George knows what it means. He can realise his dream of becoming world champion. Ferrari have been much more of a force towards the end of the season. Charles Leclerc looks very wide-eyed for some reason. George Russell wins and lifts the trophy. More confetti and champagne. Fabulous stuff. Our two favourite things at Mercedes. And there's pats on the back all round. We timed it to perfection again, like we did last year in Mexico. And it's paid dividends, massive dividends. So George Russell takes the win. His fastest lap, a 16.1, 6/10 quicker than what Verstappen had managed up to that point. Let's look at the Drivers' Championship. In fact, I say it's 1 point. They're level. It couldn't be closer, could it? 7 wins for George Russell, 8 for Max Verstappen. That's what's keeping him ahead at the moment. Lewis Hamilton's title charge is done. They're not all over for Lewis, but realistically, we do now need to prioritise George Russell over Lewis Hamilton. Mercedes further extend their lead in the Constructors' Championship. 10 points we've beaten Red Bull by in this round. Oh, that was tense, that was exciting, but ultimately victorious. Well, thanks very much for watching this episode. If you enjoyed it, make sure you hit the thumbs up button down below, like the video, subscribe to make sure you don't miss out on when the final 2 rounds are released here on YouTube. Las Vegas, which is a sprint weekend, and then we finish the season, rightfully I would say, in Sao Paulo, Brazil. So it's sure to be a massive scrap to the end of the season. Make sure you're here for it. You're the best fans. I'll see you in Vegas. It's goodbye for now.